Hello, good morning, welcome Rangers Radio, and a happy new year from everybody involved here in Rangers Radio. Join myself, Oxger, on the show this morning. It's Jaffa. Morning, Jaffa.
Morning, Ox. How you doing, mate? Thanks
Happy
for having
New
me on
Year
the show.
to you, mate.
You too, pal. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to everybody at Rangers Radio and all the listeners.
Hey, I've got the team for you. McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Davis, Barisic. Kamara, Lundstrom, Tillman, Kent, Fashion Jr. and Alfredo Morelos with substitutes. McLaughlin, Jack, Kolak, Sands, Wright, Roof, Arfield, King and Devine. Jaffa.
About as strong as it could have got, Ox. I mean, the only other change in there was Jack. I think we spoke about it over the last couple of shows. I think that's as strong as we can get. Obviously, I suspect it's a 4-2-3-1. And good to see Alfie back, I have to say. I thought he had his best 90 minutes, or however long he was on the park, you know what I mean, 70 minutes last week against Motherwell. So let's get into them, Ox. Just got to win our individual battles and get the application right and desire. And
it's about attitude, mate. It's about attitude. If that team, I'm just looking, if you think about three of that back four started against, if you go back to Leipzig it seems a long time ago now, Kamara and Lundstrom started in the midfield. Kent and did Morelos? No, Morelos was injured. Kent would have started against. There's a lot of that team with a lot of experience at big games at Ibrox, mate. Yeah,
100%, Ox, and I think that's what he's going for. He's going obviously for experience and for probably composure. They know what they're getting themselves into. They know how it's going to play out. But they've got that middle of the park area, Ox, and I think you and me spoke about it as well last week. They've got to win that part of the game. If they don't win that, that's where we'll win and lose the match.
I personally would have went with Jack and Lundstrom in there with Kamara playing in the Tillman role today, but when we're out of possession, to be more solid with Tillman as substitute, personally. But yes. I understand we need to win the game, so we're going out to try and win it. Yeah, which is a positive attitude, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're at home, aren't we? I mean, you're never going to be able to. I mean, if you're away from home in this fixture, you might go that way, I suspect, Ox, or if the table's telling a different story. But as you quite rightly say, we need the 3 points, and he needs to inject more confidence into that squad, because I think we all know in football that's that plays a huge part in where the players' heads are.
Aye. Would that be the team you'd have went with, mate?
Well, I think the only change that we spoke about last week was Jack. I had Jack in there, in for Fashion Jr. Like you, I was going to go a straight 4-3-3, but I think he's going with a 4-2-3-1, probably for protection in the middle of the park, I suspect.
I don't think we could have played Tillman out in the right, mate. I think if you're playing Tillman, there's only one position you can play him as, I don't know what you call it, number 10 role now, or the forward to the three midfielders, whatever you want to call it. I don't think you can play him out in the right, mate. I don't think we've seen that work.
No, I agree with you, Ox. I mean, the best, Malik Tillman's best work's always getting done from a central position. He's sitting in right behind Alfie, so when we turn over and we're in attack today's match, I suspect it's going to be, he's got 5 players up front essentially. He's with Tillman and Morelos right at the top of the diamond. If he plays that way, depend how he plays. I still like Kent in this free role as well, Ox. I think he's got a big part to play in today's game.
He's a guy that makes things happen, mate. He's a positive player, and he can score goals. He's got some leap on him. The only criticism I would throw him when he does disappear at the game, mate.
Mm-hmm. And you hear a lot of these, from coming from this American kind of USA type philosophy where it's a lot, they are based on, real hard work, and that's part of their game plan. It is a wee bit of a shock. I mean, I know he was brought through the Bayern Munich academy, but it is a bit of a shock to see him lapse out the game. Don't get me wrong, Ox, in the last few games I've watched him, he has put a lot more effort in, and you do see him chasing back a lot more. But as a young guy, that's the part of his game he's got to really work at. The going forward bit and the ability, not in question. The guys, I mean, those touches, that finish against Motherwell the other night there, I mean, I know he made it look easy, but it's all about timing when the defender opens his legs up, and the minute he gets him on the turn, And I mean, the goalie's unsighted. That's an art form. That there's only Harry Kane does that at will, but look at the kind of money they're talking about for Harry Kane. You know, when he can place the ball between the defender's legs and the corner of the net. And Malik Tillman can do that, Ox.
He's got ability. There's no doubt he's got ability. It's where do you find the right position for him? You know, I think he would be good in a 4-4-2 when he was playing up beside somebody, just moving after them and getting space. But look, it's about what you're living day to day.
Individual battles, Ox. They've got to win their individual battles. That you can't. I mean, in these games, these old firm matches. I mean, through the years, we've all seen plenty of them. In the days that we've been successful, you've got each defenders, middle of the park, forward line. The press has got to be right today as well, because they'll try and play the ball out all the time. That's just the way they do it. And if Morelos is at it today, and as you say, the attitude's right, then we've got a good chance, Ox. We've got a good chance.
Here. All right. I'll give the team out again, then we'll get the phone lines open, if that's all right with you.
All right at all, mate. That's perfect.
McGregor, Tavernier, goals in Ben Davis, Barisic, Kamara, Lundstrom, Tillman, Kent, Fashion Jr., Morelos. Substitutes: McLaughlin, Jack, Kolak, Sands, Wright, Roof, Arfield, King and Devine. So we're starting to get players back for injury, Jaffa.
We've got Roof on the bench again today, Ox. I see we've got obviously Jack there. Arfield's on the bench, you know, for the impact. Devine's there, you know. We've got big Cholak himself's on the bench. So yeah, you're right. We're starting to get a bit of strength back in that bench area and changing the games when we need to, Ox.
All right, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
And if anybody's interested, their team is Hart, Johnson, Carter, Vicker, Starfelt, Taylor, McGregor, Hattie, O'Reilly, Forrest, Medea and Kyogo. Jaffa, if we play, we win. But we've got to play.
They've got to play, Ox. That's the bit that's been missing. I mean, don't get me wrong, the last 4 games there's been embers of the connections happening, the 1-2s, the players running off each other, working for each other off the ball. There was embers. I mean, against Motherwell the other night, they did string a lot of decent passing bits together, but my God, they've still lost a lot of, you know, sloppy passing, just taking their time on things. I'm not going to get that today, Ox.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to win their individual battles.
Do you think the Motherwell thing had showed up? It was the 3rd game in 8 days, coming back for Brett. We just were a bit flat. Would that be fair?
I think that is a fair point, Ox. Yeah, that is a very fair point when you think about it like that. And also, let's not be kidding about it. I mean, the weather on Wednesday night was absolutely appalling. I mean, it was windy, it was bucketing with rain, it was dreadful conditions for playing football, and so the park was greasy as well, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. There was a lot of passes misplaced because they couldn't put the right pace on the ball. But in essence, on a different day, you know, that those passes don't go astray, and it makes the performance look a whole lot better. So, yeah, I think that could be a fair point, Ox, about the 3 games in the 8 days. That's a very valid point.
Because we've got to the well with the same guys, you know. If you take that game, Connor has come back in, Ben Davis has come back in for injury, Glenn Kamara's had injuries, Alfredo Morelos have been involved in injuries, you know. Tavernier's been injured and had the flu. Hopefully, they've had 5 days to recuperate and they're fresher and fitter and we're ready to go, yeah?
Absolutely, Ox. And listen, I mean, I know, you know, I'm not a football manager, and I've never have been on the sidelines managing a team. But I mean, I've worked and played football enough with different managers that what they say to people outside the dressing room is 2 totally different things from what they say inside the dressing room, Ox. And I'm quite sure that in Wednesday night they were told to, once the 2nd goal went in and the 3rd goal went in, they were told not to go and bust a gut and put themselves in front of challenges that didn't need to be done. And I'm 100%. I know Michael Beale says it was a 3-0 victory, and that was it. That was his immediate response after the match. He didn't elaborate too much. But yeah, we have went to the well with these players, and we're going again. Morelos come off injured on Wednesday night. He's been back training, so it's obviously just a wee strain that he's carrying. So if he's fit enough to start, that will do for me. If the wee man plays the day, we win.
He's a big cog, but they're all big cogs, you know. First choice central defenders, would you say that, mate?
Yeah, 100%, Ox. I think that's as strong as the back four. Look, you know, especially with that balance with the two left, the left foot guys, and Davis and Ben Davies and Barisic back. And Barisic, I have to say, looked really fresh on Wednesday night. He was right at it. His first ball into the box was a peach. So yeah, I would say that's as strong. I mean, provided they're all fit, Ox, of course. And I think even Golson looked even sharper on Wednesday night as well, because he's not had a lot of training, so he's getting match fitness obviously game by game.
Yeah. Always, aye. Golson's a warrior, and don't get me wrong, he was on some good form before he got hurt. Before that, people would say he was ropey, but what we've obviously missed is the organiser, Jaffa.
Aye, and you can see that, Ox. It's like a captain within a captain in the back four there. And you can never have two. I mean, you'll have heard that over the years, Ox, with Richard Gough days and stuff like that. You can't have too many captains in your team, never. I mean, if you've got a captain at the back, a captain in the middle of the park, and somebody up front that knows what they're doing and talks the game, stretches it, pulls people out, puts them in position, it helps a lot. And Big Connor does that. There's no two ways about it. And on top of that, Ox, he scored a nice headed goal on Wednesday night from an in-swinging corner, I noticed.
In-swinging corner, it's the way to go, I think.
Who would have thought it?
I know. I'm just merely a fan. I just think it's more dangerous if you get the delivery right, yeah?
Aye, 100%, pal.
You know, just a personal thing, you know, small things, small details, but small details win professional football matches, Jaffa. Well,
that's a fact, Ox. You know, and the more small details you get right, the more chance you say you've got to win in that match. So from that perspective, small details, you know, especially at set plays, Ox. And I know we were chatting on the show the other night there. You know, I would have Barisic on dead ball situations. I just think he gets more on the ball. He makes the ball move better, and I think he's more accurate with his dead balls. If I was Tavernier or if I was Michael Beale, I would have him on the dead ball situations, Ox.
You know, it was some cross he put in, wasn't it? It was some cross he put in for Morelos' header. It was a great goal, mate, if I'm being honest, you know.
Oh, it was a belter of a goal. I mean, the cross makes the goal, though, Ox. You know, the position of the ball, whip him into the box like that. The goalie can't come out for it. I mean, it was just inch perfect. It was an absolute belter of a ball. You know, and Morelos gets the pace on the ball and just rattles it into the top corner. Goalie's got no chance. There's not a goalie in the world saving that.
All right. Obviously, emotions will be running high as they always are. Do you think the support's got a part to play?
Of course they have, Ox. Always a full Ibrox. I mean, if they get right behind the team and get the atmosphere right and really push the team on, you know, like we've seen in those big games over the last 12 months and in the past, if the fans are up for it today, and I'm sure there will be, you know, there's plenty of us in there. So, you know, let's get into them. Let's just get wired right into them.
Yeah. Aye, just play the game. Play the way we can play. We know we can play. And let's go and win the game of football. We're not asking for a lot, Jaffa, are we?
Not a lot, mate. Just got to individual battles, Ox. That's what they've got to concentrate on. That obviously they've got to play together as a team, but the tactics have got to be right. Let's not be kidding about it. Getting your tactics right. We know it's going to be 100 mile an hour. It's never anything different than 100 mile an hour. So composure on the ball, but not to the point where you're taking too long and getting caught in possession. Get the ball moved quickly especially in the middle of the park area. And I'm sure they've got enough players on that part, Ox. You know, we Kent, Tillman, Kamara, you know, as you say, the four guys at the back, but Barisic on one side, Tavernier on the other, pushing up into the middle of the park. And by the way, they will push up because that's our game plan.
Here. Lundstrom and Kamara. I don't know if it would have been everybody's first choice. Yeah.
No, I don't think it would have been Ox. I think a lot of people would probably prefer Jack and Lundstrom in there, but maybe myself included. But I can see why we'd want to play Kamara Ox. Glenn Kamara he's got a pass in him, especially if it's going to turn into more of a 4-1-4-1, and that may well be his tactics as well, to give him 5 in the middle of the park. And if Kamara's playing in that sort of front 4 area, along with Tillman, then Kamara's definitely got a pass in him, especially when he pushes forward. And I personally think Glenn Kamara does his best work in a forward role. I really do. I think he's better at that than he is going back the way Ox.
He covers the ground quickly, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Especially, and he reads the pass. He reads the situation. He's also got a good engine in him, Glenn Kamara. He can get up and down the park when his head's right. And I just think, in the last sort of while, he just doesn't seem as though I think he'd lost a bit of interest in what was going on at Rangers. But hopefully Michael Beale can get back inside his head and give him a cuddle and tell him how much he's loved. And ultimately, at the end of the day, Ox, if he's looking for a move and he wants out of Rangers and he wants to go and try something different, these are the games that he's going to have to turn up in, and the rest of them for that matter.
Substitutes got a part to play for you?
The Havocs, aye. I mean, I suspect you'll see Cholak at some point. I think you might even see Ruth. You might see Arfield. And I hope we don't see John McLaughlin and on the part, and I mean that in the nicest possible way, because, and I think even possibly Scott Wright at some point later in the game. James Sands may even well come on for Lundstrom at some point if it's been a hard 60 or 70 minutes.
James Sands is an enigma. The support took to him, but he's been maybe a victim, he's saying, flexibility, Jaffa.
He's just, I know what you mean with players that, with players that have got that in the locker where they can play a few different positions. They end up the manager doesn't really know what to do with them. The fans don't know what to make of the player, because you don't really get to see him in the best area of the park. So you're right, Ox. I mean, and listen, I think James Sands, I think we all do know that he's better at midfield than anywhere else, because he's definitely not a centre-back, is he?
No, in my opinion, he's somebody who could do a turn, I think he could play anywhere across the back four in an emergency situation to help you out,
Yes, aye.
But I would like to see the boy in his natural position in a run of games to see if he is, but I don't know if we're going to have that luxury, because every game's important, Jaffa.
I like his physicality, Ox, James Sands. I like how he's physical, but that's what gets him a lot of yellow cards, I'm afraid, in Scotland, is the fact that he is quite physical, but he's good in the tackle, and he's definitely got an engine in him. That there's no question of. The big guy never breaks a bit of sweat. And that's got to be an added bonus. He's as fit as a fiddle. So he has got a lot of attributes. As I say, Ox, I just don't think we've found the right position for him yet, or given him the right amount of games to show who the best version of James Sands is.
Good to have Cholak back.
Yes, definitely. Aye, different dimension, especially coming on at 60 or 70 minutes. If wee Alfie's going to run his guts out. It gives you a different perspective. I think it's good doing that, because it confuses the opposition, especially in the middle part of the game. So, yeah, good to have him back. Hope the big man's fit, and there will be chances a day later in the game, so he's got a big part to play for me.
Question for you: what's the most important part of our team today?
For me, middle of the park, Ox. Aye, middle of the park. I would say that's where the game's going. That's their strongest point of the opposition, is the middle of the park. And if we can match up with them today in there and win the battles, and I think we can if you look player for player. I think if you look across the middle of their park and look along the middle of our park, Kent's got a big part to play today. Massive. He's the key for me. He's the guy that's going to instrument all the openings for us.
So what you're saying then, if Ryan Kent plays, we win?
I think so, Ox, yeah. I think if Ryan Kent plays, we win. I do, because he's the guy that's got that free role. He's got Him and Tillman, for me, are the two players that are potentially going to win the match.
Okay, I've been joined by Andy Felix, our first caller of 2023. Happy New Year, Andrew.
Happy New Year to the pair of you and to the 66 in the families. My heart goes out to them. So just like to, put that on record. Still in my thoughts,
Yeah.
So, right, look, we've just got to go for it, haven't we now? He says that we'll meet them at the halfway line and we'll not be retreating. So let's hope that attitude's in every one of them players and we go out and get a result. And, start the new year off in the right fashion, if you get what I mean. Attitudes, more or less. You can't really ruffle it about with what's the situation they've got with the injuries. Roof on the bench, I suppose. Fit Jack, he would definitely have played. Kamara, I wouldn't have started with. But he's gone with what he's got, and we'll see what he does.
You think Ryan Jack's no fit?
No, I don't know. What he said something, didn't he, there, that he's got to manage his game time now. I can't understand managing his game time in a game like this. A fit Jack, definitely I would have played, but I mean, I'm just trying to think how he's thinking. Kamara's probably looking for someone to open it up, but I don't see that in him. He's a guy that I don't think wants to be there. But he should be up for today. Hopefully they're all up for it and we go out and do it. Tillman could play a big part. Yeah, I would have had, with Tillman playing, I suppose you would have wanted something like Jack alongside Lumsden to, give that dig and all that, just in case he does fade out in the physical side of it. But he's gone with what he's got now, so we've just got to go with it. There's always he likes his 5 subs, as he said there the other day, so he could,
for this, the 5 substitutes. The 5 substitutes has changed the game, Jaffa. It's changed the game.
Well, you can change your team. Well, effectively, half your team, 50% of your outfield players can get changed. And again, if you look at all the stat guys out there that put all the stuff together, most of those changes happen between the middle and front of the park. So essentially, you can change your whole front line and your midfield. So it totally has changed the game, and that's why. I mean, you see a lot of these, especially at the World Cup there, and you see it down in the EPL a lot of. Because the minute 60 minutes, it's 55 minutes. They're changing 3 players at a time. And I noticed Michael Beale's done that on a couple of occasions already. So totally does change the game.
Aye, but I suppose the call, Andy, is you've got to get the substitutes right. You can change it both ways.
Yeah, I don't like him all at once. I said it. I think he's done it in every game. I don't feel that. I think you would bring 3 or 4 in all at once. It takes, as I said, it takes time to get into a game. They could get caught. I mean, I know they do it, but I'm not really interested in what they do. I mean, they just burn out 60 minutes and then bring another on that's going to keep running as well. I don't think we're that savvy or that fast or clever, to bring on 4 and 5 at once. It worries me that. And I'll stick by that. Introduce them at certain times, I can see, but all at once, I can't see him doing it in this kind of game, right enough. But you don't know, do you?
I can see him doing it if things weren't going right, Andy.
Yeah. Well, that's you're down to your gambling, then, aren't you? If things are not going right, when you do that kind of stuff, right enough. I just don't like the idea of that. I mean, it's good to change the game. If somebody puts a big ad tackle on and he gets booked straight away, you've got that option of, not getting your team down to 10 men and all that. But I just don't like it. It seems like a bounce game to me, that as well. He's changing them, like testimonial or something like that. But that's what he wants to do. We've got to give him a chance and all that and see whether it better. I mean, just hope that they're really up for this. You know what I mean? Give some pride back, and give themselves some pride back, and we'll all be happy. If they give 110%, it don't go right. You take it, don't you? Because you know that they're caring and they're trying. And that's all I'm asking for them today. I think we can win it if we play the game right. You know what I mean?
There's nothing in their team for us to worry about if we play, mate.
No, I don't worry about them. They're overrated. They do what they do, but if you get stuck into them, they're not very clever, whether it's us or anybody else, and we all know that. And that's the thing that frustrates us more than anything else. If we know we're as good as them, so we just got to put it on. Just come out there and give us it. Come on, and then we'll be okay. You know what I mean? We can get that result. It starts the new year off great. It should settle the team. People coming back that he can introduce into the team, and we see where it takes us. I mean, as tough as it sounds, a good win against them, it puts them back, it gets them thinking. You know what I mean? That's what I'm looking for today.
Aye, it's a bigger game for us than it is for them, Jaffa.
It is, Ox. That's a fact. The 3 points are way much more important to us than they are to them at this moment in time. And I think Andy's 100% right there. If we win today, it sows a hell of a seed of doubt in their minds. And obviously, I mean, the league's back on. 6 points is, with the amount of games that are left, there's not a great deal, Ox. In 19 games or whatever it is, 18 games that are left of the season. So it is much more important to us today. And I think that's why the players have got to be up for it. Not just that reason, but they've got to be up for it. They've got to understand the magnitude of the 3 points and what's at stake.
Yeah. We've been joined by Blue Star. Happy New Year, Blue Star.
Happy New Year, Ox, and the rest of the guys. Just my thoughts, Ox. I've got to be honest. I'm mystified by his midfield selection, but he's a manager. He sees them in training. But let's see who wants to remain at Ibrox. I think this is going to be. It's either going to be a masterstroke or his blue sell up, as far as I'm concerned. The midfield, I only see 2 players in there, honestly, and the rest of them are all forward-thinking players. I get that if you're 2 in midfield are going to get on that ball, but the way they play, they're virtually playing with 5 across the middle of the park the whole time. I just think we'll be struggling to get the ball, but I hope, as I say, obviously I hope I'm wrong. I just think we're powder puff in there.
I would have played Jack when our body in there.
Absolutely, Ox. Absolutely. It was crying out for him. But Andy might be right. Maybe he is carrying a knock, although it's not been said. But how you could play with Kamara and Lundstrom, I'll never know. But I hope he's pulled the rabbit out the bag. I just can't see it, guys.
The only thing I will say is his selection, Jaffa, is positive in it. He's going out to try and win the game, yeah?
Yeah, and I mean, he's playing that. It looks to me, Blue Star, as though he's going with a 4-2-3-1, which he's still trying to get that 5 in there with Tillman, Kent, and Fashion Jr. Obviously, out of possession, you're expecting the 3 of them to track back. I mean, you'll know that Kent and Fashion will, that's for sure, especially down the flanks. But I think that's what he's going to attempt to do with the 5 in the middle of the park and try and match up with them. But I had Jack in my team as well. A fit Jack, of course, Blue Star. I would have thought he would have given us a bit more security in there, but maybe things are at play in the background. Maybe Jack's not 100% fit, but he's on the bench, so that always raises an eyebrow, doesn't it?
Aye, absolutely, Jaffa. But it's just Kamara's more to me. Kamara does like to run a couple of yards forward, then he'll stop and he'll pass sideways or backways. Jack's maybe a sitter unless he's actually told to go forward. So if you're playing with 2 in the middle, basically, to me, that's what he's playing. 2 in the middle of that park. 2 against 4 and 5 players. I don't care how good you are. You can't control the middle of the park that way. Sakala and Tillman, certainly they might try and track back, but they're no tacklers, guys. They're forward players. So you're leaving yourself with a lot of work for Lundstrom and more so, definitely a lot in Kamara's shoulders. And to be honest, guys, I don't think he's up to it. But as I say, these guys are playing for their futures. We all know that, and we'll see how many of them want to be there with the performance that they put in. Here's hoping that they get tore in, but I have reservations, guys. I've got to be honest.
It's funny, Andy, that these guys, Lundstrom and Kamara, and that, if you just think back, and I'm only going back to the run in Europe against top sides, and they've done the business,
Yeah, well, they were brilliant in that. I've got to be honest there, right enough. But some guys just don't get Scottish football, and I'm not convinced Kamara. Well, you know what I think about Kamara from day one. He's got something, but he ain't got enough to put that shirt on, in my opinion. He's too sideways on. Christ, I mean, he don't want to be. He's not wanting to be there since the summer, and I might be shot down for it. But if that's in the body language and the way he looks, wanting to be at Rangers, and I'm missing something. He didn't look happy at all, didn't that guy, for a long time. I still think a bit of it's down to the races carry on. It seems to have knocked him sideways. There's that. Geesh, man, if somebody's coming at you like that, get up and man up and prove yourself. You know what I mean? Don't shy away from it. And that's part of it as well with him. Lumsden,
well, I think he did. Geesh. I think he done that after the game, mate. I think that's why he got the ban.
well, yeah, but I mean, he's not done much on the park for me, to be honest with you. Look, if he was that good, he would have been in, whoever was managing Rangers, he would have been in more often than what he has been. So I suppose somebody will come out and say, well, he's had a slight injury. That's usually the norm there now, isn't it? But,
well, he was injured for about 8 weeks, Jeff, wasn't he?
Well, if you're looking at that, and if he's injured, or any of them are injured, why are they playing? I know we've got it. We're being told that 2 or 3 of them need operations. They shouldn't be playing then. We should be looking at whatever we've got, getting them in, and at least having a fit player on the park, not somebody that's injured. You know what I mean?
I think you've seen that even against Motherwell, Ibrox, mate. Even the boy Devine and the boy Lowry, they're apprentices learning their trade, mate. You've got to
I agree with that.
Right. Huh?
I knew he wouldn't. I knew Lowry wouldn't be anywhere near the team. I said that myself. He did all right on Wednesday night. There was it Wednesday.
He's excellent on the ball. He's got nice feet. Yeah, he's excellent on the ball. He's got nice feet, but he's still a boy, mate. You've seen it when he went for St. Peters.
Ox, my problem is, guys, see the European thing. If you get Kamara in that space, we all know he's a cracking passer to the ball and he can pass it between lines, etc. That's all very well when you're playing in Europe. It's a totally different game playing in Scotland. Ox, I've heard you many a time, even yourself, when he's up against it, when guys are snapping at him, let's be truthful, we all know it. That's just not his game. It just can't handle it. And I just fear that you're basically leaving Lindstrom in there and he's kind of Jack Jones up against 3, 4, maybe 5 players. You can't do it. So the only way we can function properly today is any passes that go to any of the rest of the players that are off forward thinking, they've got to be manly on the ball. They've got to be stuck right on that ball. And if Celtic come out the way that they usually do and snap at their heels, I just don't think we're strong enough, guys. I don't. But I hope I'm proved wrong and I hope we stuff them. I really do. But I think we're up against it, guys.
Well, we know how they're going to play, Jaffa, eh? Oh, we seem to have lost Jaffa. Mandy, we know how they're going to play, eh?
Oh, they're just going to come at you all the time, aren't they? The fast runners, and that's how they do. They burn the cell out the first 60, and then they bring on, like I said earlier on there. But look, we can match them. Just they're not human beings, and so are we. Blood, flesh, and bones. Get into them. Let them know that they're actually in the game today. And let's see how they react. I mean, I don't know what it is with us just lately with them. You know what I mean? The last game there, geez, well, they've got to be savvy. See, when you look at that, although they mauled us, right, they've got to be savvy, turning the back when shies and, them getting the ball in quick, not reading the game. I mean, a lot of that, that's just basic. We get that right and we get stuck in. It's a different game, isn't it? And I'm hoping that the players have listened to him when he said, we'll meet you at on the white line there, and we ain't retreating. A big statement to make, but let's see if them players have listened to him and they want to do that. I mean, geez, 50,000 bears there a day, all behind them. What more can they want for us? They're playing on the biggest stage. The Old Firm game's the biggest stage going.
Aye. It separates the man for the boys, but there's been some men had bad games in it and some boys had great games in it. Boys Star, it's just... It's on the day, as it's always been said, isn't it? The team with the right attitude win the midfield, usually win. Don't always win. I mean, people have been mugged in the past, I think we beat them a couple of years ago and we never had a shot in target.
Absolutely. It's all to do with strength of character. Look at that cup game. We flipping ran over the top of them and we lost the game. it happens. We've seen poor Rangers teams get out and beating them. It just, as you say, it's on the day. It's strength of character. It's these players have got to show up. They've got to say to themselves, we're going out there and we're running at you no matter what. And that's what they've got to do. He's played a forward thinking. As forward as thinking the team is what he possibly can. They've got to go and run at them. That's it in a nutshell. They've got to show it. And if they can't do it in front of 50,000 bears, then, quite frankly, there's no messing about anymore. They shouldn't be at their club. And that's what they're playing for. They're playing for their futures.
We seem to have we've got an experienced team, Poster. I mean, the team we've got is experienced. We've been,
absolutely.
A lot of experience in the team, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, he's not playing any rookies. So they know the score, they know what they're facing. So it's up to them just to show the character and get out and get tore in. And if they get tore in and they give their all and we see that, then we can't say much. It's the idea if they go out and if they get run out of the tappy or whatever, hopefully no, then that's a different matter. But they've got to show that steel. When managers showed positivity with his pressers and everything, the guys trying to gear them up. They guys have got to go out and play for him, and they've got to go out and play for the fans and play for themselves.
Jaff, are you back with us, mate?
Back with you. Apologies, tech problems.
No, it's all right, mate. Just if we win the day, Michael Beale 5-5, mate, becomes a pretty decent start.
Becomes a great start, Ox. An absolute brilliant start if that's the way it works out today. Let's hope it does. That starts to inject an unbelievable amount of confidence into the playing squad and belief, because I think that's a big part of what we've been missing.
Do you think it's that simple? The message and confidence, it's as simple as that?
I do, Ox. I do. I think it is that simple because I think, like him himself, I think the players don't turn into bad players overnight. I think they lose confidence and they lose a structure. And I think that's what he brings back to the team. And I mean that in training as well, down at the training ground. And I do think it's that simple. I think winning is the best remedy for any squad of football players, especially winning big matches.
All right. Confidence, huh? Confidence. We'll see where it takes us. Last word for your good self, Poster?
Well, I've just watched one manager and he says, my players are going out to perform for our fans. Here. Big thank you if that happens. That's all we're asking. Let them go out and perform. Get us a result. Get us a winning team on that park.
Yeah.
Let's hear it for the Rangers.
Andrew?
Leave nothing on the field today. Get stuck in. Hopefully get the win and let them know that we've had enough of this and we're coming back as a team and put us back where we belong. That's the attitude I want to say out of them.
Jaffa?
Echo what the lads have said there, Ox. Just get absolutely wired into them. Win your individual battles. Leave nothing in the dressing room at all, and give us 110% Rangers. The best attitude that you can possibly give us, and get us some goals and give us a performance for the fans. If that's what Michael Beale has said. Thanks for having me on, Ox.
I'll be honest with you, Stu. I really don't care how the game goes as long as we've got one more than name and the whistle goes at the end.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Right, okay. Listen, thanks, Poster. Thanks, Andy. Great to hear from you.
Thanks for having us, Ox.
Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back 15 minutes after the final whistle, celebrating the Rangers victory. Take it away, Old School Blue.
Who's that team they call it?